And that was due in part to our lucky orange parachute, because when I left NASA, my friends gave me this rectangular piece of nylon. And for scale, that's the exact same rectangle here that's part of the parachute the Curiosity rover used to land. So that piece of parachute is actually one of the 80 rectangles you see here as they were running the final tests in the world's largest wind tunnel. And so it only felt fitting that after some scribing, a bit of cutting, and a little sewing, it had nobly repurposed itself.
Imagine fucking that up though.
So as the sun went down, back at the hotel, we worked late into the night on final preparations. This was an idea and a passion project 3 years in the making. And it took a staggering amount of work even to get us to this point. We had thought and prepared for so many things that could go wrong, and while I was feeling optimistic, I knew at the end of the day, it was the laws of physics that would ultimately determine our fate. So early the next morning, the crew in charge of the balloon got to the launch site to start filling it up. And this balloon looks a little different than the others because it's a zero pressure weather balloon. The advantage these have over a typical weather balloon is they can go higher up into space, carry more weight, and they're open on the bottom, which means they equalize to the pressure and it's impossible for them to pop. So when you want it to come down, you send a signal that will pull down on a string that's sewn into the side of the balloon, and it opens like a zipper and self-destructs. The downside is they're incredibly lightweight and so thin and delicate, you have to be really careful and touch it with gloves. And they were about an hour into filling it with the 4 massive tanks of helium we had on hand when we made a gut-wrenching discovery.
Oh no.
Hey dude, I got bad news. We have to scrub. Start taking the helium out of the balloon.
No! Wait, what went wrong?
They had some issues that I guess they can't resolve by today. So we're sucking out the helium from the balloon and trying for another day. So.
Oh man. Back to the drawing board.
No.
The egg will not fly today.
What are you talking about? Are you serious?
Now for context, Joe was in charge of this part of the rocket and me and my team were in charge of all of this. And while we'd each tested our individual systems ad nauseum, it wasn't until that morning that we were able to test the integration of the 2 systems together. And when we did, it became immediately clear to me I had made a critical oversight.
Oh
so,
no.
Tension compression, this is great. It's holding on to that thing fantastically. The problem is, this is so long and heavy, as soon as it wiggles, it's going to want to bend. Great in tension compression, but this happening at Mach 2 is...
That's not gonna work out.
There's no other balloons in the world of this size that we can get access to. This was the only one for like another month. We're trying to save this one so we can hopefully reuse it, but any slight little damage
Yo, Ginger
puts it in
Hippo,
the wrong
5
spot.
months.
And now that's an imperfection that may actually be a failure point for a future mission.
Big booms.
And this was an absolute low point for me. The integration of 2 independent systems is such a classic failure point in engineering. I was crushed I had missed this. And financial concerns aside, I felt like I had just let everyone down. Not just my team and the rest of the crew helping out, but all the other folks, some of whom drove 6 hours to come out and watch as well.
6 hours!
The thing with failures. They can sting like crazy, but it's really
just how it goes, I
process
guess.
to learn one more way not to do a thing. And so even as I sat there feeling pretty bad, like any good engineer, I was already coming up with a list of all the things we were going to fix to get back out here and try this dang thing one more time. And this principle of resiliency is something I think can be learned. In fact, I believe this so much, I started a toy company called Punch Labs with the express goal of helping kids think like an engineer. So with the Build Box, not only do you get a super fun toy that you put
That was a good
together,
segue though. From like, oh, it was our greatest defeat. I was so sad, but it could be better if you buy Crunch Labs. Yo, Soggy Crave, thanks for the prime.
So if you're a kid and you're looking for something to put at the top of your Christmas wish list, or you want to gift it to someone else so you can be the household hero, just head to crunchlabs.com or use the link in the video description. Now, as far as my plan to bounce
Bro, you
back
have
from
a
my
Star
own
Forge
failure,
ad on
we did
his
4
content.
things to really get serious
Oh, yeah.
and stack the dice in our favor for the final launch. First of all, we fixed the connection
Yo, driver,
point with
thanks for
more
the
of
5
a
months.
sheath design that could handle the bending moment. And then at the right altitude, it would autonomously separate the 2 halves with a black powder charge. Second, we ran some vacuum and temperature tests on a raw egg. There's no air pressure and it's really, really cold in space. So if you don't do something to protect the egg for the 2 hours it takes the balloon to get up to space, it will freeze and crack the egg every time. So we tested some heaters in our egg chamber and proved that they keep the egg warm enough. Third, we built redundancy into our system. When NASA sends something to Mars, they can't go there to fix it, so it just has to work. And for that reason, a lot of critical systems have backups. Even the part of my own hardware and Curiosity that accepted a dirt sample from the arm into the belly of the rover had 2 doors that opened to the exact same place in case one of the doors ever stopped working. In our case, redundancy meant making a 2-foot wide custom beach ball that we would stuff with a second egg surrounded in packing
much
materials
thought goes
with a
into
20-foot streamer on the
Major
back. We would
flex,
just
yeah,
drop it.
actually.
It would be dead simple.
I mean, I would
no
flex
parachutes
too
to
if
deploy,
that were
no
me.
autonomous timing sequences.
I only have like
and no
2
fancy
things I
mechanisms.
can
This would be our
recycle to flex
redundant,
with.
Yet I would argue kind of boring, second chance opportunity to land a safe egg. And fourth and finally, we went to a local crane yard to test both our solutions at their respective terminal velocities, starting first with the beach ball.
What's the second one? When the shack thing.
And after that, we tested the
I guess I
final
haven't
landing
recycled that one in a while.
configuration of the rocket.
Oh shit, double lift 2, I have 3.
By the way, the actual rover parachute held perfectly. Mwah!
And so after all that, we made the 6-hour trek back
don't really
to the
mention
desert
that one?
for what I
Oh.
was really, really hoping would be the last time.
Do I have to
guys.
flex it now?
After 4 failed attempts, we had learned so much, which left me feeling cautiously optimistic. And right out of the gate, we got 2 bits of really good news. The first relates to that super delicate zero pressure balloon we
Yes.
had to reuse
I
from the
feel
last launch
cringe
because
now,
there was no
though.
possible way to get a replacement.
Yeah, I was Shaq approved. I met Shaq at like this like Bud Light sponsored thing, like how many years ago? It would have been like 7 or 8 years ago now. And he was talking to my ex and he was like, "Is this your girlfriend?" And he was like, "Yeah." He was like, and he said that I was cute, and I was like, oh, "I'm Shaq approved."
Just barely touching the balloon leaves it
And now I
stressed
can
and creates a weak point for it
enjoy
to
the
tear.
shakaroni
So I was
pizza even more.
obsessively checking the fish scale reading that would give us the verdict.
The force reading is 37.6 kilograms of buoyancy force pulling this up. Importantly, it's not changing. If it were changing and going down, that means we would have a leak. But it's holding steady.
Yeah, I mean,
at
he's just really
37.6.
nice.
That's a
I'm
big
sure he
deal.
says things
And
like
the
that
second
too.
piece
A
of
lot of
good
people,
news
but
is my buddy
still,
and warm-blooded
I'm still
good luck
Shaq
charm Al
approved.
Chen had arrived. You might recognize Al as the other guy here with Adam, and he's the one who actually said this.
Touchdown confirmed. We're safe on Mars.
If we were successful, he'd be the one to make the official call. And so after all the requisite last-minute preparations and 3 long years,
Here we go, girl.
Yo,
it was
Moons, thanks
finally
for 2
time for
months.
liftoff.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. You're
Whoa, it's going! Finally!
And everything
Goodbye,
was
egg.
looking good. The balloon ascent rate was just what we
Emo.
predicted, and that meant we
Jiggy.
for sure didn't have a leak, and things were finally breaking.
So good.
Is that how it's supposed to look?
And it takes about 2 hours to get
I
all
love
the way
those
up to
wide
space.
emotes.
Whoa.
So once the balloon hit 30,000 feet, we decided to hop in the car so we could drive over to the predicted landing spot about 45 minutes away.
Hell yeah.
So far, it's all systems nominal. Balloons in the air, it's ascending at the right rate.
Wait,
We've
that's
passed
so
some critical
cool.
threshold points, and we're still in the game.
Wait, I
Fifth
want to
time is
send
the
a balloon
charm,
to
as they say.
space.
And we eventually started outrunning the balloon in the car,
look at
so
the
we pulled
camera.
over for a bit as we reached an important altitude milestone of
If you could
100,000
send
feet.
one person to space, who would you send?
That's 19 miles up. and
just send them
2.5
up there,
times
they're never
higher
coming
than
back.
a typical commercial plane
Don't
flies.
say
And
me.
because the balloon expands so
No,
large as it
not
rises,
me.
we realized we could actually even spot it from the ground, which
No.
was awesome.
Yeah, no, I see it, yeah.
Dude, that's totally it.
What wasn't awesome
Get
was
outta
when
here,
moments later,
no.
Joe, while looking through the binoculars, made this gut-wrenching observation.
It looked really big and then it looked really small. You saw it small?
Yeah, it like seems to be smaller.
But it's
Smaller.
just weird that it would just completely disappear. Which was followed by a devastating call from the balloon tracking
Oh
team.
It
no!
dropped within the last 2 minutes. Yeah. That's 30,000 feet over the last however, so it's just popped.
But these don't pop.
Wait, why did it
There's zero
pop?
pressure. And that's true.
Yo,
They
Luke,
don't
6
pop.
months.
But unbeknownst to us,
And,
while we were
Jay
looking at it from the
Briscoe,
ground,
6
the
months.
rocket and beach ball had been
Thank you,
spinning
thank you.
around and around relative to the balloon for about 10 minutes. This meant the cord that attaches to the string that self-destructs the balloon was getting wrapped around tighter and tighter until it was so tight it pulled down on the balloon string that is designed to essentially unzip and destroy itself.
Oh no!
And so before we even had the
It
chance to
spun
release the
too
rocket and
much.
beach ball from the balloon, it all started coming down in one big tangled heap at 150 miles per hour, which is way faster than the eggs could survive.
Well, let's start driving.
And as we drove over, all I could think about was how our fate would rest solely in the hands of the redundant systems we'd put in place.
Wait, yeah, if the egg
think
survives, they
it's
technically
probably-
succeeded.
About 2 miles up that way.
This was our Apollo 13 moment. If our payload could autonomously jettison itself from the tangled rocket balloon mess at 20,000 feet, then it would be able to deploy our lucky orange parachute and land the eggs safely on its airbags. And as we parked, we knew what was done was done. There was nothing left to do but go on a hunt to find the wreckage and reveal our fate.
Where
I
is the
see
egg?
something orange. That looks like a rover parachute. Okay,
Woo!
we've got a thing.
And seeing the payload all by itself was a huge deal,
The
because it
payload.
meant it had actually autonomously ejected itself from the mangled weather balloon mess at 20,000 feet. And later when we checked the footage, this is exactly what it confirmed. And while that was incredible news, I knew by this point not to get my hopes up.
So let's look through the window, a little bit of dirt. You see,
Good, definitely touchdown, but
touchdown confirmed. Whether or not we're safe on Earth is TBD, right?
let's check it out to be sure.
Oh man.
Egg?
Touchdown confirmed. We're safe on
The
Earth.
egg made it! So it worked!
Hot egg.
The balloon just didn't go as high
In
as they
space, and
wanted.
now it's on Earth.
It's
and
perfect.
It's not broken.
After that, we tracked down the beach ball, which as far as I was concerned, was just extra credit at this point.
This is the backup, the simple solution, the true engineer solution here.
Wait, another egg? The backup egg survived too!
Confirmed. Look at that. We're safe on Earth.
We are safe on Earth.
Wow.
2 for 2, baby. 2 for 2.
Dang, they got both!
And as we walked away with 2 uncracked eggs in hand, I was reminded that in life, things rarely unfold how we think they will, but by learning from your failures, coupled with a bit of tenacity, us humans can accomplish a feat as incredible as the world's smartest
Yeah,
Martian
now he
robot,
needs to make
or
an
as
omelet with the
ridiculous
space
as
eggs.
the world's tallest egg drop.
Eat them! Eat them,
You know
Mark!
what would be cool? Because
No!
like, I hope you learned something by watching
Eat
this
them!
video. But how much more would you have learned if you were out there in the desert with me, helping to like troubleshoot and put the rocket
Oh
together?
man. Okay,
Well, I got great
I'm gonna go
news
pee
for
real
ya,
quick. I will
'cause
be
got
right
the
back.
next best thing.
And then I'll watch a
And it's
couple
called
more
the
things,
Crunch
and then I
Labs
will
Build
start
Box.
my Dark
It's a
Souls
toy that
2
gets delivered right to
playthrough.
your doorstep every month,
Right
and then
back.
we build it together while I teach you all the juicy physics that make it work. You're basically unlocking your own personal Mark Rober video every month, where you learn a new engineering principle that will have you not just building like an engineer, but more importantly, thinking like an engineer. So you develop that resilience and those problem-solving skills. And by the way, don't go sleeping on just how cool the toys we'll be building together actually are. Like this insanely accurate rapid-fire disc launcher, or this linkage-powered drawing machine, or this Rube Goldberg-style catapult launcher that will leave you feeling like you just landed your own dang egg from space. And I should mention that Crunch Labs is a real place. It's where we design all these boxes, and it's got a tennis ball cannon, and the world's longest Hot Wheels track, and a foam pit, and a bunch of other cool inventions. And each month when you open your box that comes in the mail, you have a chance to find the platinum ticket. And if your box has it, that means you and your family get to come out and visit me and my team for a day, and we'll build some cool stuff together. So if you want to embark on this year-long journey with me and make a sad Christmas tree like this a happy Christmas tree, just go to crunchlabs.com or use the link in the video description where we're giving away 2 months free as a holiday special.